Hey guys, want to know how to craft great looking goddess locks for you or your client? Hey crew, I'm Erin of E-Exclusive and I'm so excited to be here with you today to show you how to do individual crochet goddess locks. I start out by smoothing a good amount of the purple Shine and Jam onto my client's freshly blow dryered stretched hair. Next, I'm going to start the parting of the hair. You'll see I take great pride in my parting and I use two separate combs to do so. First is this foiling comb. Here, I like it because it's for detailing with the metalling point. And then I have the pink rat tail comb for parting general larger sections of hair. That way I can kind of get a good idea of how I want this section to look. All right, awesome. So now I have my section of hair that I want. And I might go back through, clean up some of the hair to kind of get a good feel. Then I'm going to take some more purple Shine and Jam and just smooth that right there on the part, right there in the middle, and get like that nice detail. Now we're going to detail later here. So this is what I use my metal fine point foiling comb for, is to really detail and clean that up. I just take it, slide it across that part that I want, and then comb it down with the teeth so that I can get nice, neat separation. I am one of those people that likes every little hair to try to be in place as much as possible. So the next thing you probably see me doing is I see that the part is not quite as even as I want. That's no problem. I just go through and reestablish the line I want and then go through and just keep detailing until it is the way that I like it to look. And that's generally how I make my parting technique. So one thing that I do to try to make my part straight is I do something called matching anatomy, and I try to make sure that the part is in the same place on her head on both sides. So in this case, I chose the middle of her ear to try to make sure that the part kind of meets up on those both sides to make sure the part is as even as possible. All right, so once I have it established, I take that spine of the comb, I smooth it down almost like we used to do a relaxer back in the day. Take those teeth, align the hairs, and smooth, smooth, smooth. And that's how you get those flawless, perfect parts. All right, guys, so next things next, we are on to the square base. Now, I kind of can eyeball and see about how many parts that I want in the back. In this case, I want approximately 4. And when I make each braid square for the crochet base, I braid each strand about 1/3 to half the way down, and then 2 strand twist the rest of the way. Right, I'm braiding still. And then take it, separate it, 2 strand twist it the rest of the way down so that it's easier for my client to take down. So it's important as a stylist to me to make sure that all aspects of the style are pleasurable, including the takedown, just because you want your client to have a good experience. You know how clients get. They get those small braids that you put in because you were trying to do something and they're like, I'm not taking this out. Who's taking this out? And then what they do, they rip their hair out because they're so frustrated, or they cut their braids off. So by twisting the ends, you make it much easier for your client to take their hair down. Now you see me with this small piece of hair at the bottom. If you can't get all the hair in, it's okay. Just leave her edges alone. You don't need to snatch every single strand of hair in there. It's okay. Let her edges be edges. That's going to be protective. It's going to give it a natural softness. All right, so I have this bigger section here and it's a little big, and that's fine, but you don't want to make small sections for small section's sake. If you have a slightly bigger section, that's totally okay. Just roll with it. It's in the back, 1, and 2, it's her edges. You wouldn't have a lot of support there. I know some of you guys are thinking like, oh my gosh, why is she doing that? But that's okay. It's totally okay. You know, you want to not try to be too much of a perfectionist when you're doing hair. You just want to kind of enjoy it for the art of itself. And if you really do a good job laying the foundation, you're going to have a good result all over, yeah? So here is my completed row, nice and neat, even squares. We are going to move on to the next level. Now, there's a couple things I want you to take note on before we move up. I noticed, see how I'm showing you the slack that's in the base of her hair? And I'm going to move on to this next level you're going to see, but I'm going to describe this really quickly. I left a little slack in her braids because there's going to be hair crocheted underneath it. So you don't want it to be too tight, because too tightness, I mean, it's not good for protective styling. It's not very protective if you're ripping out the bases. So you want to make sure that there's just a little slack in those base braids because hair is going to go underneath it. The other thing thing that you want to note is the reason why I make the partings in the back bigger is because edges take most of the wear and tear from a style. So you want to make sure there's a good amount of support. Your edges are also the thinnest and the weakest parts of the hair. That's the irony of it though. Even though it takes the most damage, it's the part that is not equipped to take the most damage. So as a stylist or the person working on your own hair, you want to make sure that your hair is equipped to take up all the wear and tear that's going to happen. Yeah? Cool beans. So I'm going to put the top in a ponytail and we're going to start the next row. Yes, I abandoned my comb. I am parting with the clip. My braiders know what's up. Sometimes that clip is a great parting tool. I'm going to go ahead and braid my third or 1/4 or just a little bit of braid just to make it solid. Gently detangle the ends and then twist the rest of the braid or the base. So if some of you guys, especially my experienced hair designers, are thinking, why isn't she exactly bricklaying? That's a great observation. So 10 points to my viewers with a good eye. I opted not to bricklay this new row because my parting at the nape were bigger than what I wanted to establish as the size when you'll kind of see with my lock. So with this new row, I can establish the real size that I actually want for her locks. Than I did in the stronger areas. I can do like, smaller parts because those are going to hold up a lot better. So you see these parts that are going to be smaller, and then I'm actually going to bricklay using this foundation instead. So I'm going and parting and twisting. But hey guys, if you have any questions about any of my techniques at all, please comment below because I love questions. If you're a client of mine, you definitely know that I love questions. I'm always like, I love questions. You feel bad about asking questions? Don't worry, I love your questions because I know there's a lot of things that people don't know about their hair, and it's my job as a stylist to make sure that you get an answer. So if you have any hair questions at all, period, even if it's not about this, just let me know in the comments below and I'm going to do my best to answer it for you. I think an informed public is the best kind of public, and that is my public civic duty to let you know about your hair. So I'm continuing and doing this next row, and this is kind of what the completed look is. We are ready to crochet now, so this is pretty awesome and I'm really excited, guys. So here we are, all braided and ready to crochet. I have my top filled in the same way that I would do a client's hair with real locks to give her hair that finished extra little bit of believability. On top, you can see how I did wide yet closer together parts so that her edges have more protection. You'll see this with a lot of people who have natural locks having slightly larger parts around their edges for added protection from pulling and styling. So for this style, I use a classic pink and green size latch hook. This hook works for nearly all crochet styles, and to start, I'll pull the hair up, leaving the back row exposed, and then I will, with a duckbill clip up the remaining row for clear and a focused work area. Next is the hair. So I have the hair brand and the colors in the description below and additional information about my client's hair and products as well, so check those out. And I love hair with established loops because I can preload the loops quickly in the way that I want. So to start off with, I'm going to take and do a latch right here in the base. And I want to make sure I have that first one. So making sure I have that first one, I'm going to latch and I'm going to pull it through because it's already loaded. And what that does is it already allows me to control how that loop goes on there. Okay, so I have this braid here, this nice, really cute crochet braid, and then I have her twist. After I do that, I can reach back in the middle. It's almost like sliding down like a sleeve or like a tunnel, like one of those little space tunnels. You just want to scrunch it up there. You want to try your best, if your latch hook comes out, try your best to get back in the middle so that that braid will be perfectly concealed. And most importantly, if you're a stylist doing this, you want to be as protected as possible. And it's not much of a protective style if the thing that's responsible for protecting is not protecting the hair. So that's why you want to make sure it's covered. So I have that. I'm going to stick that piece in there, close the latch hook, and then pull that strand down. And if you're like me, you want to get it perfect, you want to try to slide up those extra hairs. Now, when I do in the future, I might put this on top. I just kind of want to demonstrate, but I'll put this on top. That way it'll conceal more of that braid. If you have a little bit of extra braid, same thing, go on about the length that little piece is sticking out. And sometimes you can roll it on there too. Hopefully you could see me doing this, kind of like all the way out there. Latch it, slide it through. Now you have one individual crochet lock, completely protected, tension free. Okay, let's start on the others.
And actually I might want to go
under the braid so to help conceal more of the twist. So I'm going to gently pull it through and pack it down. So I'm going to unclip the braid, pull off any stragglers that might be hanging on, and then I'm going to slide the clip through the loop. Now keep in mind that the clip or the arm of the latch hook is bright metal. So if it can conceal that bright metal, it can conceal your braid, and that's a good way to gauge whether or not your braid will be in the middle of the twist. And notice how I scrunch it up all the way through the base and I pull it down. I grab the little bitty piece, pull it through that spot, and continue to pull it through. Loop, latch, and pull it through. And that's how you get another completed, nice, neat crow lock. Now, if you guys know who the originator of this look is, please be sure to add them or tag them or whatever you can in the comments so that I can give them credit. It's so important that we give credit to people that originated styles and looks and have inspired like ways of doing makeup and all kinds of wonderful things out there. And if you catch me using a style that somebody else created or perfected, tell me who they are so that I can give them credit. Even if you yourself learn a skill that you were inspired by, be sure to make sure that you give proper credit. To me, as a stylist and a fellow creator, creative artist, myself, it's so important to get credit for the things that I come up with too, especially when I have creative ideas that I want to share with the world. So be sure to share that love in return. I love sharing that love in return. I love seeing people use techniques and ideas that I've come up with and they come up with their own spin. And that's just how humans evolve and grow as a people. So when people are generous enough to give up their talent and their skills to the world and freely on venues like Instagram and YouTube, the least we can do is give a thank you and a shout out, appreciation, acknowledgement, gratitude from the public for sharing those things, because those creators could easily charge money and most of us don't have it, myself included. I mean, some of y'all do and you want to pay people, but if people are giving it for free, a thank you is as good as currency as any. You should see me. I am such a fiend on my Instagram. When I went viral on Shade Room with my highlight braids, it was so exciting just to see all the love, how many people were supportive. It even obliterated any of the haters that were saying anything. It was just so much fun. Like sometimes even when I was having hard days, I would go back and read those comments to make myself feel better, because it lets me know that there's so much love out here in the world. Do your duty for world peace and share love. That's really, really powerful. It's such a small thing, but also such a powerful thing that you can do just as an individual, is share love and credit. Alright guys, so you're watching me go through this one by one. You kind of continue going on this way through the entire head. Are you guys ready to finally see the finished look?